Hello from me, Lazar Hristov. Welcome to the next lesson in the series, Creating a Website from Scratch. As you know, I'll start with the introduction of my new book, Master Techniques in Adaptive and Responsive Design. I'm currently working on it and it should be ready within a month. In it we will look at many interesting and useful things about adaptive design, how to make our website adaptive, and also about new techniques, functions and features in CSS at a master level. I hope you will find it very interesting and useful. Let's continue with the lessons from it. Now, I haven't made a page for it here yet, but I will. Let's open the PDF file. So, we've come to the main features in adaptive design. I'll describe them sequentially. First, it adjusts to the width of the browser window. The second is the most characteristic feature. Several different layouts are created, and with each of them, the location of blocks, size of buttons, fields, text, of images can be changed. The control points, or in English, breakpoints, are defined. Separate CSS styles and media queries are written. As a rule, we use adaptive, flexible images and adaptive text. It also includes, very important, the viewport meta tag. Now we will logically unite them. We will examine them all in detail. Basic principle and breakpoints. Adaptive design adjusts to the width of the browser window by defining breakpoints, or so-called control points. And accordingly, the number of mockups that will be created. A breakpoint, or control point, is called a point from which we start to set the layout rules for a given device width. And these rules will be valid until the next checkpoint, but only if we change them there, otherwise, they will remain fully valid. There are many screen devices with different heights and widths, so it's difficult to set the most correct and precise breakpoint for each device. So, several groups have been defined, with the most common widths of the devices. Here you can see them. The number of breakpoints varies from 1 to 6. We will briefly discuss 3 of the most frequently used variants. First, variant minus with 1 breakpoint. In this variant, only 1 point is made minus for mobile phones, and the rest is basically for desktop and eventually tablets. So there will be 2 sets of style rules here. The first will be for desktop computers, the second for mobile phones. Usually in this case, a breakpoint is set to about 600 pixels, second option -2 breakpoints. Here we will have 3 groups of rules, for desktop computers, for tablets, and for mobile phones. So here we will have 3 groups of style rules. The first breakpoint is usually chosen to be 768 pixels, and for mobile 480, for example, it could be 576. And the last option we'll look at is with 4 breakpoints. Here we will keep the logic of the 2 points, but we will add 2 more to make the transitions more even and precise, transitioning smoothly between them. For example, these would be the other 2 adaptive, flexible menus, mockups and layouts. As we've already said, adaptive design adjusts to the width of the browser window. Usually, several different layouts are created, and in each of them, you can change the layout, the sizes of the blocks, the buttons, the width of the fields. For this purpose, separate CSS styles and media queries are written, which were further developed and added in HTML5. And the second component of modern responsive design is the creation of automatically and flexibly even width layouts. And their number is determined by the number of control points in the media queries. Usually, 3 such mockups are made, 1 for desktop computers, 1 for tablets, and 1 for mobile phones. Here, you can see how they look in this diagram. The idea is for the site to adapt and adjust as well as possible to each device, so that it is displayed well, and according to the dimensions. How many mockups are needed? How do we determine this? For simpler sites, for example, a personal blog, usually 2 mockups are sufficient, 1 for desktop computers and 1 for mobile devices. For more complex websites, such as corporate sites, online stores, usually 3 layouts are created, for computers, tablets, and mobile phones. And for larger, more complex projects, between 4 and 6 mockups can be made to achieve the most seamless adaptation. Exactly how many mockups to make you will learn best from practical experience. For example, on a given site, you start with 3 mockups, test it, see how it looks on each device. Does it get a sharper jump when switching between the individual models? And if the result is not good, then you will add another mockup in the graphic area. That's all for this lesson. Best regards.